Hi guys, it's Mrs. Moss here, and we're going to conclude our meteorology unit by talking about extreme weather systems. These are the storms, the heavy storms that you've maybe experienced in your lives or just heard about on the news. But we're going to look into that a little more closely and see how all of the weather variables that we've been talking about within these past couple of weeks can manifest itself in these enormous weather systems. Now, if you look at this picture that I'm showing you now, this is a picture taken from today. There is a hurricane headed towards headed towards the islands, and it's going towards the east coast. Now, these islands are in the process of boarding up their homes and preparing their towns for the weather that will occur within the hurricane, the heavy winds and the rain and all of the debris that can be tossed around as the weather system hits. So let's look into this a little more closely. Into this a little closer. Hurricanes form late in the summer and early fall, and they are low pressure centers that form over warm water. Now, hurricanes need pre-existing weather disturbances already forming, and they need the warm water. So the warm water will then, water from the ocean will evaporate up, and it will actually give fuel to the storm that's already existing. You combine that with wind patterns in a circulating inward pattern, and you have the makings of a hurricane. Now, hurricanes, because they form over warm water, they tend to form off the coast of Africa, which would be in this general vicinity. Now, these are the paths from the 1999 hurricanes. And if you look, they form over off of the coast of Africa, right in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And because of our planetary winds, and if you look, this is the 2004 hurricane, follows the same type of pattern. It starts here and it goes upward. Starts over here and they go upward and they curve up the coast. They follow the path where the warm water is. As soon as it hits the land, it will die because it's not going to get that water evaporating from the ocean up into the system, and it'll stop. Similarly, once it goes over colder waters, it will also die fast because it needs the heat that helps to fuel the energy that propels it. Here's just a few more of the paths that one of the hurricanes took from 2005. Now, this was a very strong hurricane season. In fact, this was the year that Hurricane Katrina hit the coast of, came in and hit the New Orleans area and really destroyed that city. And this is us up here in the Northeast, and we're lucky to be up so high because we have cooler waters compared to the waters that are in the mid-Atlantic Ocean by Africa. Our waters are cooler, so by the time hurricanes get up to us, it usually has faded out by now. However, we all have experienced Hurricane Sandy not too long ago. That was such a strong storm, and it made it right up along the coast, and it hit us pretty hard. The next storm we're going to talk about are thunderstorms, which we experience on a daily basis. Not a daily basis, but we experience them more common than we experience the other storms. Thunderstorms are heavy rainstorms accompanied by thunder and lightning, enough up and down movement of air that can produce hail, especially in the winter, especially in the summer. Hail usually can be generated in the warmer weather. And what happens with that is the movement of up and down air, it will freeze up in the top and then it will start to fall. Then it gets caught back up in a circulating pattern, like a little convection cell up within the cloud level. And as the moisture and the water vapor freezes and expands, and then it freezes and freezes over and over again, it produces a hail. And here's some pictures of hail. They can get as big as little baseballs, but some just also may be chunks of ice. Now, there's 4 hazards which may be caused by a thunderstorm: lightning strikes, wind, floods, and hail. All of these you need to take caution. So let's talk about tornadoes. Tornadoes are the most intense storm type. Their wind speeds may reach 300 miles an hour. Now that is in a very small area compared to hurricanes. Hurricanes go for could be 400 miles long. So it spans an enormous area, whereas tornadoes will only hit a local spot. It may be a couple miles, but it would only be in one area. Okay, so that's what makes them so intense. These strong winds that funnel around, and it's a rapidly rotating, extremely low pressure, and it hangs from thunderstorm clouds. Here's a picture of one. So you see, this is, you could see houses in this picture, where the picture of the hurricane, we see it from above, and we look at it from a view from a satellite, and you can see the cloud storm forming over hundreds of miles. Whereas this tornado will do a severe, will be severe, but it'll be in a local area. The greatest danger to humans from a tornado, believe it or not, is flying debris. It can pick, as you saw maybe in The Wizard of Oz, it can pick anything up and toss it, even a cow. So you must be careful. Now, what can you do to protect yourself from a tornado? Well, you can go down into a basement or an underground room, or stay in a protected area, because if anything is above ground, is fair game to be destroyed in a tornado. So the general location in the United States where tornadoes occur is called Tornado Alley over Kansas, in the Midwest of the United States. And it's when the continental polar meets this maritime tropical. It's right in that area, and we get a lot of tornadoes hitting there because of all the disturbance between those two boundaries. Now, the one other storm that we are more familiar with are blizzards. Blizzards are storms with winds of 35 miles an hour or greater, and it's associated with a considerable amount of snow, blowing and falling. Blizzards are hazardous because drifts can trap people, and you may have experienced that in a winter, like this poor guy. Now, to prepare for storms in general, you need emergency supplies like food and water, batteries, flashlights, radios, blankets, and evacuation route. If there's a warning to evacuate because of a severe storm, it's within your best interest to listen to those evacuation warnings and proceed to the nearest shelter. That's the end of meteorology. I hope you learned a lot, and we will see you next time.